So, last episode, I said I had been working on this map for a year, but I had based that on when I put out the first episode, kind of showing off what I've been doing here. And as it turns out, I have a backup of this world going back to November 13th, 2023. So I've actually been working on this for like over twice as long as I thought. And if you're wondering, yeah, time and I have a complicated relationship. Anywho, hello, I'm Average Joe. Welcome back to the world. I've been building this map for apparently over 2 years now, and in that time I've made 3 different boards to play on, all functional as their own Mario Party-like board game. While I only have 2 minigames built, a Simon Says jumping game and this, I'm not going to focus on adding new minigames today. Today, I want to develop the hub area. As it stands right now, it's pretty well developed. There is Jennifer's Recycling, a giant chessboard, Leaf's farm, and the ruins. Now, the chessboard and the ruins each have a board associated with them. Leaf's house is gambling in the attic, and Jennifer's Recycling is going to have a minigame in it using the scrap you collect in the boards. But I'm still trying to figure that one out, so... Anyways, right now I don't have anywhere for players to purchase items to use in the boards. So I want to make a store. Whenever a player wins a board, they get either a diamond block or an emerald block as a reward. These are meant to be used as currency for shops in the hub, but I don't have a lot of items for players to buy, and the items that I do have are probably not worth spending on that kind of a reward. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't have a plan here. I don't know what else I can add for things you can buy, and I don't really have a plan for other items. I just want to build a store. Before I build the store, I want to give myself a guide for the town. Like I said, I don't have a plan for this, I just want an excuse to do some creative building, but that doesn't mean I don't have some idea of what I want this town to eventually look like. I want Cherryville to feel like a small Midwestern American town. I've lived in Midwest America my entire life, so I think I know what it takes to get that feel. But I've never really taken an interest in architecture, so I don't really have the language or the knowledge or the common sense to properly explain what I need to do, and it's entirely possible that I'll miss the mark. But I want to try anyways. Why? I don't know. It seems like the easiest thing to try since I live there. Usually I don't go for any established style, and I just build whatever I think looks good. But I want to get better at building, and just copying what my favorite YouTubers do or flying by the seat of my pants is probably not going to help as much as I hope. And then all of that sounds like a lot of work and I just slip back into doing whatever. It really should be called the Comfort Antlion Trap instead of the Comfort Zone. So I'm going to straddle my comfort zone just a bit and try what I did for the recycling center and use references? Well, I used one reference for the recycling center. I'll be using a couple of them for the store. Alright, after that time lapse, I've got a little bridge here, and I have put out a pattern for how I kind of want the build to look like, or at the very least, a floor plan, for lack of a better term. I've just kind of marked out the area that I want it to take up, which is this area, right here. I've done a bit of a foundation at the bottom, and I'm thinking I'm gonna like take out this section here, or this section here, or maybe just this bit here, and put a little door to a cellar or a basement of some kind, but that's really going to be an afterthought. What I want to do next is just build the store. Now, you may notice that I did add a couple other markings to the, let's say, layout of the city. I've got a red one and a white one, and those are mostly just for a later date. What I want to focus on right now is the store. So I want to base this off of the Pokemart sprite from Pokemon Fire Red. Yeah, I've got a little board for my references and stuff that I want to use for this. I have the Pokemart sprite that I am very familiar with because it was in the first game I ever bought with my own money, Pokemon Fire Red. I picked out, I believe it's the one from Soul Silver, which is also the one I bought. I've basically bought every Pokemon game, mainline Pokemon game, one of the mainline Pokemon games from every generation since Fire Red. I picked out a photo from the anime that I found on Bulbapedia, and those are my references for Pokemart. I've also picked out the sprites for the Clinic and Piers General Store from Stardew Valley, because I think they have a very good small town vibe, and I have picked a couple Pinterest photos for Midwestern just style areas, Midwestern moods. And the thing about Midwestern buildings is that they don't really have a lot of decoration to them. They're much more practical buildings. So you're not going to see a lot of like molding or spikes or arches. It's a lot of just straight lines, sloped roofs, things like that. The downtown areas always seem to be tall buildings that are like bunched right up next to each other, but this store isn't meant to be bunched up. It's not meant to be downtown, really. But yeah, that's essentially what I'm going to be going for this build. I've got my color palette here. I really just picked out what I think matches the Pokemart colors, which is the white and the light blue. And I did dig out the warped stairs and the warped planks on the off chance that I need to use them for angles and stuff, because, like I said, Midwest has a lot of sloped roofs. Anyways, we'll see how this goes. I'm just gonna drop into a time lapse and just kind of freestyle this. See if I can figure out a good look for it. Alright, so it's been a day. It's the next day for me. And I've done a little bit more work on the store, doing a couple things that aren't shown in the time lapse. So I'm just gonna look out from here and you can kind of see on the grounds there. I have started to put in some of the road. I put in a little retaining wall and some decorations on the outside because it was really feeling kind of, I don't know, bland, dull. So I put a bench on the side here and some lamps that'll glow when the sun goes down. And on the other side here there is just a little garden. There's also a bench. Really the biggest thing was not this side or over there, but it's kind of the roof and the back. The roof looks bland. It just looks bland. And I'm not 100% sure how to fix that. I'll figure something out. But the other things I was having issues with was the walls, because they were just flat and didn't really have a lot of things to look at. Now with this stuff here, it draws your attention a bit more down rather than up. And on the back, because I did make the road going off to the original hub area over here, I always intended to expand the hub area, but on the back I put a little billboard for an advertisement for just a thing. It's very abstract and arguably very familiar. Oh wait, I think I got the colors backwards. I liked it the other way. Yeah, that's more like it. Anyways, I've also done some stuff on the inside. I have added this little alleyway path, but more importantly, on the inside we've got our little storage room for stocking the store. We've got a freezer on the side with a bit more storage area, and I have added little pathways for people when they are small. We do have the employee break room, along with the employee bathroom, and the stock area for like toiletries, cleaning supplies, things like that. And we have the boss's office. We have shelves of records. We've got a little CCTV, which I probably could have built better now that I'm looking at it, but I'll figure something out. And we've got a nice big painting on the back here, as well as a clock right above the door, because even bosses are clock watchers sometimes. So as for stocking the store, I'm gonna have a villager in here. I've put honey underneath these carpets so I don't have to do any like special gatekeeping for them. And I've tried to keep the colors consistent with the rest of the building. I did have to take out the little bagging area I had set up to do that, but that's fine. That's fine. Got some paintings, and we got the freezer section. And yeah, I am not sure how much of this I want to decorate. I don't know if I want to put things in the shelves here that are supposed to be like on display or whatnot. But I even have a little bell for when people enter the store. It doesn't go off when you leave, so I think I need to put an exit and an entrance side on here. But yeah, that was just a nice little detail I thought I would add. Up the top here, we do have just a little sitting area people can hang out in. I figured you hear a lot of people talking about how there aren't enough, what are they called? Third spaces, where it's just a place you can go and hang out without expecting to spend any money. So I figured I would make just the space above the entrance a place for people to hang out. Trying to keep everything in the white and blue aesthetic. I should show you what the tiny paths are. So I do absolutely expect players to go into the employees area, just, you know, for exploration's sake. And if they go into the freezer, there is actually a little section you can drop down. And if you wander this long enough, you end up in the freezer. There's some paths behind the product and a way down that I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with yet, but every store kind of needs to have a tiny little path. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I want to do something, otherwise this item is completely pointless. But yeah, that is there. There is one more tiny path, but we need to go up for it. In the employee bathroom, there is a mouse hole on the bottom that drops you just on top of the freezer. This probably won't have anything to do with it, I'll be honest. Honestly, the chocolate is probably just going to be more of a hide-and-seek item than anything. And you know what? That's fine. I actually like that. I like the idea that someone might go into this eventually fairly large build. I put a lot of space. Someone might go into this, like, very large and preferably very detailed space and just play hide and seek. That sounds like fun. That seems fine to me. If people use this map not for its intended purpose, then fine. Go ahead. I don't mind. I just want people to have fun. Now, I have put some thought into new items that can go in this store. I have and so I'm basing this game off of Mario Party, right? And Mario Party has a couple different items that you can buy in the stores. They have this tornado in a bottle that steals items from... Sorry, not items. That steals coins from your opponents. There is a poison mushroom that reduces the amount of spaces a target can go. There is an item that increases the amount of spaces for you. And I have two items that I kind of thought of in relation to two mechanics that I currently have in the map that Mario Party does not. I have an item written down, an idea written down, that is an item to reset all of the scrap nodes in a map, and an item to increase the maximum amount of coins you can get from a space. As it stands right now, there is a minimum and a maximum for each board on the amount of coins you can get from every space, blue or orange. And I want an item to increase the maximum, and I thought about adding an item that would increase the minimum, but that kind of requires some delicate work to make sure that the minimum doesn't get larger than the maximum, and if you use a minimum thing when it's already met with the maximum, then you either just waste the item or you get a replacement for that. But the coin minimum and maximum are hidden information, which means I don't think I want to... Either I need to add a way to display that, which I could do, I guess, or I could just keep it hidden and just have an item that increases the maximum amount of coins you can get from a space. And what's this? Is that a bus? Doesn't look like a bus. Is that a limousine? What's a limo doing by Leaves' house? Right. Let's ignore that. Anyways, I'm sure there are other items I could add to the store, but those are just my initial thoughts. I'm not sure how much I like the perspective of it from here. I feel like there needs to be more going on over there, and there definitely will be when there's, like, more buildings, like, right next to it. What I kind of plan to do is to just have something like a border of buildings around here, with this one specific building. The border buildings I don't think you'll be able to go into, but this one you should be able to go into, and any other buildings I kind of decide to put in here. Maybe a park. Park would be nice. Maybe the park can go over here or something, I don't know. But yeah, thoughts, things, I'm probably just gonna get to work on the items for the store. Yes, business, business, business. You're fired. You're hired. Take a vacation. I would be a terrible supervisor. Anyways, I have finished adding all of the new food items that I was talking about in the last episode. It is the next day. It is actually 10:30 at night on Thanksgiving Day in America. And honestly, I'm tired, but not for the reason you think. I actually took a nap earlier in the day, and God, today was long and stressful. But that's not important. What's important is that I have a little couple things to show that require me to be in adventure mode, which I'm pretty sure I'm in right now. Yep. So I've basically grabbed all of the food items from the game and dropped them in here, along with an additional thing that's just there to make people cringe, and some coins, because I need them for a couple of the effects here. First one I'm going to show off is the chocolate. You guys have probably already seen this before, but you eat it, you get small. You eat it again, you get big. If you die while you're small, you just get big again. Butter is the item that will increase the maximum amount of coins you get from a blue or orange tile. Let me just set the display up so it actually shows coin max. Right, so right now coin max is 2, and if I eat this, it goes up by 1. Yeah, I might want to take that out of... I might want to change to the text message for that. But yeah, just increases the maximum. I haven't done anything for the minimum. I don't think I'm going to alter that. Caramel. Caramel is the one that actually lets you steal coins from other players. So if I just, So it will look for the player that has the most coins, and it will take the one that they have the most of. It'll take a random number between 0 and 12, but never more than what the player has. So if I just simulate the resin brick here. Hang on. Okay, yeah, you can tell I was having problems writing that code today because it was just a bit of a mess. Okay, but everything is fixed. So when you, the player, eat caramel, the game will find the person who has the most amount of coins, well, the opponent that has the most amount of coins. It won't track you. And it will decide which coin the opponent has the most of. It will pick a number between 0 and 12, or like 1 and 12, a number between 1 and 12, and it will take that amount from the player. Now I've got a little bit of text on the side that'll tell you how much it's decided to take. Yeah, I think it prioritizes iron ingots over gold ingots if there's a tie. But yeah, you can see it's just eating away until eventually Anyways, the next one up is the Freeze Pop, which I can actually show off better if we go to the Eye Manor. I need to put more stuff in these hallways. They're meant to feel cramped, but they're just so spacious. Anyways, over here we have a couple of scrap nodes. They've got little sparkly bits so that you can find them easily, but you can just right-click, 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 and just get stuff from them. The Freeze Pop resets all scrap nodes in range. Any that are loaded. Resets them. You can just pick them up again. This one, I feel, is definitely worth the price of a reward block. I have a shortcut. In fact, I didn't even need to do the thing. Alright, let's get back to the store. That walk is longer than I think it should be. Anyways, the last two items are rock candies. So it's an Echo Shard and an Amethyst Shard. And these are... they have similar effects. So, as with Coin Max, there is an invisible score called Dice Mod that I had to add specifically to make this work. And it is a number that is added to your next roll. So, rock candy adds 3 every time you eat it. Well, the amethyst rock candy does. The echo rock candy will reduce the nearest player's dice mod by 3. So, since eating it does nothing, because there's no other people on this board, we'll just simulate it using this command block and this armor stand. And you can see, I should fix that too. As you can see, the dice mod just goes down by 3 every time you use it, to the point where it becomes negative. I have yet to put a cap on the thing to make sure that you don't actually go below 0 spaces forward, because I don't actually have a way to handle players with that would roll a negative number. It's all forward, baby. But yeah, that's probably something I should address as soon as possible. And those are all of the food items that are put in the game right now. I'm not sure how many of these should be reward things you can buy using like your diamond or emerald blocks, just because of how long it takes to actually get a diamond or emerald block. Playing a board takes a long time, and if your reward for that is like one of these items, that doesn't feel... none of these are necessarily game changers. And I feel like you, well, aside from the Freeze Pop, just because it deals with the scrap, but that's not like a game changer for the board. So, and I feel like things you buy in the hub should be like game changers for when you're playing on the boards, and I have yet to have any like really good ideas for game changers. Anyways, you're probably wondering what the Just Glass is, and it's just glass. Alright. It has been a while, and I now have just a way to do the store, and I've actually just put the items in the shelves, you right click to take one out. Their price is listed on the bottom here. An E stands for emerald, a D stands for diamond. And when you want to check out, I'm just going to pick up one of everything here. Also of note, they don't stack until you purchase them. So I'm just going to put them on the conveyor belt here. And you can see that the price is taken out of the blocks I have in my inventory, and then once I purchase them, they stack and I can leave. Now, what would happen, for an example, if you just decided to leave with an unpaid item in your inventory? Because, you know, that's a bit of a design flaw. You don't want people just taking these and not paying for them. So I fixed that. I was supposed to have fixed that. Okay, I fixed it. Now whenever you try and leave with an item that you didn't sell, and I will just delete this and grab another one just to prove it, it just sends you to the manager's office. There's 3 exits to the building. There is the basement exit, because employees might try and steal things. And there's the 2 exits out front. I did the one on the left, and now I do the one on the right. Now you might be wondering what happens if you try and eat an item that you didn't pay for. Well, first, let me just gather a couple random bits of stuff. Now watch what happens when I just die. I keep all my stuff, right? Yeah, that's pretty normal. I don't want players, like, losing their stuff when they die. I feel like that would kind of take the fun out of the game if you had to go back and grab your stuff, especially if you happened to... Oh. Right. Especially if you happened to die in a board and you end up outside of the board by accident or something. Well, what happens when you eat something that you haven't paid for? You lose your items. They're not deleted, mind you. They're just all back in the store, and you have to make the walk back to get them. Which, I don't know, I feel like that's a pretty fitting punishment. The main issue is that you don't actually, like, you still get the effect from eating the item. So, if you really want to, you can, but you're gonna get punished for it. Okay, this is editing Matt to kind of show you that I had the idea. I don't need to let you finish eating something before I punish you for trying. So yeah, that's a thing now. Anyways, once I do actually check out the item... Oh, wait, no. If you buy something without having enough if you try and buy something without having enough currency, it does just delete it. That is another one of the security measures I forgot about. Yeah, I'll just buy chocolate. Now, it's supposed to make the beeping sound when you actually buy it and not when it deletes itself, but yeah, I'll figure out why that's not working later. But yeah, I think that's all I've got time for. I think this episode is going to be a little bit short, and you know what, that's fine. I'm not too bothered by it. I did learn a couple things about doing things today. For one, I realized I should probably just actually focus on making stuff rather than making it look good. And I really shouldn't compare myself to other people, because while I was building this, I did watch some other people play their games, and God, everyone's just a better builder than I am. While I do think this looks good, comparing it to other people, yeah. But regardless, I can do things that builders can't. I can make chocolate that makes you tiny when you eat it. And I probably shouldn't compare myself to people who can do that kind of stuff better than me either. It's fine. I'm not gonna worry about it. So yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't... No, that's the wrong one. If you liked the video, leave a like. Maybe leave a comment about things you want to see here in the, like, heavily populated portion. I'm gonna have a city hall. I'm going to have... Well, that one out there is kind of a secret. But... yeah, I don't know what else I could put in here. It could just end up being just a bunch of apartment buildings and some smaller buildings for just side characters, I guess. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So I'll just see y'all next time. Take care.